Anna Dimitru, Senior Account Executive at Team T or Team SCG, to talk about a hot trend on social media, unboxing. What is it? Why is it so popular? And how can promo pros take advantage? We've got all the answers right here. Savannah, welcome to the Social Angle.
Thank you so much for having me, Vinny. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. So, how are things down in Florida today?
Well, they're pleasant. Not a cloud in the sky, but also humidity for days. But that's just another day down here.
Yeah, it's amazing because we've had probably the coolest April that I've ever remembered. It's like 55 degrees today. It's
Ooh.
blustery. It's windy. I'm out in a jacket. Like I had to get like a heavy jacket today. I was shocked. And our April has been colder than our March. March was like we had 80-degree days, and I'm like, what is going on here? Now it's like we barely break 60 now. I envy you right now because
Wow.
I could use a little bit of sunshine and some heat. So
Well, just know that I'm always wearing long sleeves because it's cold in the office. So that's like the real cross to bear in Florida is, you're cold in the office, but when you're walking to your car, then it's, all bets are off.
I saw your post on Instagram about that with the dog. I think it was
Yes.
where you're bundled up. I think we used to joke about that when we were in the office full time. It was like in the summertime you dress like it was winter because it was so
Mhm.
cold, and in wintertime you dressed like it's summer because they're pumping the heat. So I totally get that. The office, the cold, the chill of the office is not lost on me. So anyway, before we get started talking about this great topic about unboxing, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you found yourself in the industry, anything else you want to add?
Okay. So, honestly, I am a product of this industry by the pandemic. It's funny because so many people are like, oh, yeah, in normal times, like this wouldn't happen in our industry. But I don't know what like a normal, I don't know the promotional products industry without like supply chain issues, without like labor shortages and all that. So, I literally got hired in May of 2020. So I'm a little under 2 years in the industry, like coming up on two. So that's really the gist of it. I'm here, in sunny South Florida. I work with Team SCG, family owned and operated, 30 years. Gotta love it. But that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, so you're somebody who started in the industry right when the pandemic started. So you actually have no knowledge of what it was like beforehand, or very little knowledge, I should say.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's like it's just so crazy to think about what it was before. I haven't even met any of my clients in person before, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think the pandemic will always put a line of demarcation for everything. It's like pre-pandemic, and we're going to talk about post-pandemic. And I think,
Mhm.
you know, you don't even have that perspective of pre-pandemic. So you were
No.
kind of like trial by fire, jumped right into it. Chaos, supply chain issues, businesses shutting down. So you've got 2 years of experience. It might as well be 20 years of experience, the way I look at it.
Yeah, a few gray hairs, but don't worry, I get like a partial highlight every now
Well,
and
there
then.
you go. I know my hair's gotten
To be
so much
honest.
more gray in the last 2 years. So anyway, we're talking about unboxing. And for those who don't know, can you explain what unboxing is?
Okay, so unboxing is the product of kitting and fulfillment in our business, kind of simplifying it to something that we know. So it's when you essentially box multiple products into a kit and you create a gift, and then you ship that thing out. It's a gift, it's an experience. The recipient receives it and they proceed to unbox it. I consider like an unboxing to be, it's an experience. It's something that engages like all of the senses. So like, it's not just the product, it is the packaging. It is, I'm a big fan of using like olfactory branding. I'm a big fan of like, really creating like a color palette and kind of sticking with it, a theme. And, so when somebody gets the box, they unbox it and they're experiencing all the stuff as it comes out of the box.
Yeah. So hence unboxing. I think I
Yeah.
mean, it's fairly literal.
Yeah,
Like when I think
I
about
would
unboxing, it's like it's very literal. It's somebody unpackage or unboxing or unpackaging something that they've received, a gift or
yeah,
whatever of products. And to me, you talk about fulfillment and kitting, which became pretty popular during the pandemic. And I think it
absolutely.
was, by necessity, sheer necessity. It was something that a lot of businesses said, we have to do this ourselves. The resources are low, when we're going to create, these experiences.
Mhm.
And the unboxing, I think, is the product of, somebody receiving that and liking it so much that they're going to go on to show it off. And I think that's kind of the gist of where we're at here, the conversation about unboxing. And I think it's become very popular. I've noticed it, especially on social media in the last couple of years. A lot of people are doing it.
Mhm.
And social media is the perfect vehicle to show off what you've received, in a gift. So, I want to clarify first before we talk a little bit more about unboxing, because I know that there's also something called a haul video. Can you tell us the difference between what an unboxing video is and a haul video?
Yeah, so I think that it kind of goes into kind of what I just mentioned as far as like an unboxing is a gifting experience that you're showing off to the masses. A haul is, kind of when you get a bunch of items that sometimes you purchase, sometimes not, but like it's not packaged. It's not necessarily a thoughtful package.
Right.
I would equate it in our industry when you receive like your seasonal samples from a supplier. It's not necessarily like in a display mailer. It's not placed perfectly. It's not like all the logos are really like straight or anything along those lines. It's just boxes within a box, and that's really it.
Yeah, and I think you could look at haul videos too from you just shopping. You go out and buy a bunch of clothes. What was your haul from that? Trying on a bunch of clothes. That's a haul video. I think unboxing is we talk about the packaging, the box itself, and that becomes part of the experience. And I think that's also very important in this industry. That we talk about, well, like, what's inside the box. What about the box itself? The box itself can also be branded. It can be very elegant. It could really show off the brand in a very nice way. And I think that's what people see. You see the box first and it's like, ooh, look at this nice box, because there's so many different variations of unboxing. And it starts with the packaging, and if the packaging is great, it's going to be part of the unboxing experience, instead of having like
Yeah,
some just brown box that has just one label on it. It looks like it's dirty. UPS got a hold of it, kicked it around a little bit. But you know what? When
exactly.
you
The packaging is the hook, and the packaging is the first impressions, and first impressions. I mean, they're everything. So it really does just create an opportunity for a continuation of the brand outside of just the product.
Definitely. So why do you think unboxing has been so popular, especially on social media?
So I think that what we've seen, especially in our industry, the past few years, people are looking for an experience. They're not just looking for a product anymore. There's so much more value in creating an experience rather than just, here you go. Like there's so much more value in engaging people and giving somebody like a conversation piece. So it really is just kind of like elongating the exposure of your brand through an unboxing.
Yeah, and I think that um, you know buyers are becoming younger,
Mhm.
and we're they're more in tune with social media. And when people
Absolutely.
receive gifts and they like those gifts, their tendency is to show them off. And
Absolutely.
you know, I say it all the time. Look, I didn't grow up with social media. I'm Gen X. You have millennials, you have Gen Z. These are the generations that grew up with social media, and this is a medium that they use to basically communicate. And
Mhm.
it's one of the first things they think of when they go out to a restaurant and they're eating. It's like, oh, look at this delicious looking food that I got. They take a picture and they show it off. Anything that they receive that they feel has value, they're going to go to social media. And
Yeah.
I think
If you
there's
didn't post it, it didn't happen.
exactly. That's the mentality there. And
Mhm.
when you receive, a gift and you have this beautiful packaging, your tendency is to, okay, I'm going to get my camera out and I'm going to show this off. An example, and like I'm not somebody who does that normally. Like that would not be my first instinct.
Yeah.
However, I just had like um, a big birthday earlier this year, my 50th,
Well, happy
and
birthday.
thank you.
Belated, I
My
guess.
That's okay. Let's hope the next 50 are just as good. So my sister got me uh, these old school candies that were popular in the 80s, the
Mhm.
decade that I really grew up in. And I opened up the box, the outside of the box was awesome, and it was like had all this like nostalgia stuff on. I opened the box, and there was all these candies in there that I was like I hadn't thought about in like 30 years. So my first instinct, you know, should not have been pick up the phone and start doing an unboxing. But I was like, I started to get it. I was like, this is what I get it now. I get it. So I did an unboxing and I posted on TikTok, and I was shocked. There was a lot of interest and there were a lot of people saying, oh yeah, like, that's really cool. So
Mhm.
there is certainly an appeal, not only to younger generations, but even to older generations to, see the value in an unboxing.
Yeah, and when it is posted, at that point others can chime in if it resonates with them. And that's a really cool feeling to you kind of create additional sense of community with these boxes, as it does get posted to social media, as more people see it, they're more familiar, with your brand and what you're experiencing. It's really cool.
Definitely. Again, I'm talking to Savannah or Sav. You go by Sav.
Tomato, tomato. If it's too many syllables, like I get it. Savannah's a lot. Like Sav it is.
Sav it is. And we are talking about unboxing. If you have any comments or questions, please post in the chat right there. And I know we do have some comments. We'll get to those in a second. So let me ask you, I mean, how long does it take to create an unboxing video?
Ugh. So it's so funny because I mean, I love doing it because I create these. This is my bread and butter. This is how I operate. So I have such an eye for it, but also if I let myself, I could spend hours doing it. Getting really into the detail and of course the editing. But I mean, honestly, like I try to also just do it in one take and, make it as organic as possible because what I experience when I'm unboxing, it's not like I want to oh, I dropped something and I have to start over again. I
Sure.
want to give like the organic experience. So I really try to do like one take and then maybe 30 minutes of editing. But if I did it the way that I wanted to do it, it could be hours. But I really try to limit myself just to like move past it because I think that there is like a perfectionist element to it that I
Sure.
want to like, get everything in there. But at the end of the day, like I just try to get it out as quick as possible and just let go and let God.
I like that. I've only done one, and it took me a while. It took me
Mhm.
20 minutes, 30 minutes to set up all the candies, and then I had to put it into TikTok. Now, you said that it takes you X amount of time. Where do you post these? Like, what networks do you post in that you find the most value?
So that's tricky because I'm more familiar with Instagram. So I have been doing reels for kind of more of my short form content, but I enjoy doing my unboxings more so on TikTok. I wouldn't say I'm the most engaged on the TikTok platform, but I do like enjoy editing on that platform a little bit more. And then so like I'll often do like my longer videos, which, let's say 30 seconds to a minute on TikTok, which is mostly the unboxing videos, and then I'll push it out to my Instagram and then LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. I would, if I was creating an unboxing video, I would start it, or I would create it in TikTok and then I would share it onto the other networks, because I think
Mhm.
TikTok has the most powerful platform to create really sharp looking videos. I
Absolutely.
don't think Instagram is as good. I don't, their studio is not as good as the
You hate
TikTok.
to say it, but I mean, TikTok really has some great editing features if you're doing something longer than, let's say, 10 seconds.
Right, right. And we've had a lot of success creating content in TikTok and then sharing the TikTok video into Instagram, into Twitter, onto LinkedIn, Facebook, and
Mhm.
getting just as much engagement as we would if we had created separate videos. I think that, create it once in TikTok and share it into whatever networks you want. So, I mean, even if your business doesn't get a bunch of engagement on TikTok, you can create it there and then
Yeah,
share it into the other networks. And I think that's also very effective.
absolutely.
So now I have to ask you an important question. How can distributors and suppliers utilize the power of unboxing for their businesses? Now we're talking about us unboxing, like from the end user perspective. What about distributors and suppliers? Like how can they utilize unboxing for their businesses? And I
So
think
I think
that's a tricky question. It's hard to answer.
so it is, but I think that it's an opportunity to really like differentiate yourself in the same way these businesses are trying to do it. Like you know, I just received a sample package recently, this morning, honestly, with a whole bunch of samples, which I'm so grateful for, but it was probably like 15 boxes within a box. And,
Mm,
I'm there, like, it's not like a luxurious experience. Like, I'm there with like my box cutter just, going at it. Whereas, like, if they would have been properly packaged, it would have been much more seamless. Honestly, I would have gotten my my camera, I would have posted it, and and it wouldn't have just been me seeing it. It would have
right,
been, all of my followers seeing it. But like as a distributor, if you send your clients like a gift to unbox, they're probably going to take a picture and post it to their social media, and their coworkers or colleagues in similar positions with potential buying power, like it's a real domino effect. So I mean, you know at first glance you wouldn't necessarily think to do it, and you would probably think, oh, let me just send this sample, like this suffices. But really, like, shifting the mindset of, we're not selling a product, we're selling a gift. Like,
right.
I mean, that really elevates your perceived value, and then also creates an experience for additional brand visibility.
Right. And I think you can also encourage the unboxing experience. You can,
Absolutely.
ask, you can just flat out ask, hey, if you love what you got there, show it off on social media. And I think that's you don't have to be shy about it. I think that's what you want to get. You want to get that exposure. You want to get the buzz built around your brand. And I think that's, if somebody likes what they receive, ask them to show it off. And social media is the perfect vehicle for that.
Absolutely.
So, are there any special unboxing hashtags that you use to reach more viewers on your videos?
So, of course, unboxing is like the main hashtag that I'm throwing on there because it is a huge one. But I have read quite a few things on like hashtag strategy, and you want to have kind of like a generic one, and then a few niche. So, like, for, like unboxing, custom packaging, ASMR, and then I kind of go for like the traditional promotional products hashtags, as well
Hmm.
as like location based. But I mean, honestly, I don't put too much weight in the hashtags. They are like an additional way to reach people, but I really try to just focus on engagement and creating like engaging content, because at the end of the day, like, even if you do have like these these hashtags that reach, people that you wouldn't necessarily reach, if your content isn't engaging, nobody's going to tune into it and like really stick with it or proceed to actually like follow you or like it or anything like
Right.
that.
I 100% agree. I think hashtags are like, they're like gravy to me. Like
Mhm.
if they work, great. But if not, I mean, chances are they're not going to work.
Yeah.
I would use hashtags like, unboxing. Certainly, you click on any social platform, the hashtag unboxing, you're going to find thousands of pieces of content under unboxing. Chances of your stuff being found using that hashtag is probably very, very small. But
Mhm.
like you said, like, you want to use the hashtags that are relevant to your business, to your audience. Keep using those. But again, I think the most important part is the engagement. If you create content, unboxing on TikTok, but your audience is on Instagram, share it on Instagram. Make sure you get it out there on Instagram. You could tag people. Like, to me, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity. You just have to know how to get people to engage in your videos. And hashtags are part of it. They're just not the whole. They're not a be all end all in terms of getting people to find your content. You have to really
Yeah,
know where your audience is and really get them to find your content. Like, there's a little bit of work on your end to get that to happen.
absolutely. And there's no like one solution for all of your problems as far as like it there's so many elements that go into like making an engaging post that's going to be seen. And so it's really just kind of exhausting all of your options for every post and really kind of bringing your A game and just, throwing it out there and seeing what sticks is kind of my method.
Okay, so we do have some questions here. You ready for them?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so Shayna asks, how do you convince a client to go from a product to a gifting experience?
So, I mean, that's a very good question because especially when you have like a more traditional buyer, they may not get the hype, they may not be on social media, and they may not like really, understand why you're paying $5 more for a box that they could get for, a typical brown box for, let's say, 90 cents. But it like at the end of the day, it really just becomes like the perception of value, kind of like I mentioned, as far as like, I just received a box of samples this morning and it's a box within a box within a box. And that's just like not an elevated experience. So it just, the sell is elevating your brand and creating like a luxury experience.
Right, right. So that definitely a good question, and we do have a few more, but I'm going to ask you another one from me. What are some do's and don'ts when creating an unboxing video?
Okay, so do's and don'ts. I always, some things that really stick out to me when I open up a package, because like at the end of the day, it is a first impression and it is a very visual experience. Number one, making sure like your color palette is cohesive, is it makes all the difference. And I'm not saying everything has to match to a T, have everything be the same Pantone colors, but like having a flow and understanding like, I have really loud colored products, so I want a more subtle crinkle paper, like, and really understanding like what you're highlighting as far as
Right,
like the product goes is it's really, really important. I mean, I just touched on crinkle paper. Crinkle paper goes a very long way. Um,
right,
having like a beautiful box and products thrown into a box, but in transit, it all gets shaken up and, you kind of get this like sloppy presentation. It's kind of loses its luster. And, you can get really cool with colors in that crinkle paper. Um, and also just making sure that the product is going to uphold in transit. We actually do this thing where we call it a stress test. So the first time we pack a box, we then literally take the box and throw it down a flight of stairs to like,
oh wow,
do like a
yeah,
simulation of transit.
right,
And if something breaks, then back to the drawing board, because there's nothing worse than, like somebody has their camera out, they're opening up the box and, oh my gosh, my mug is cracked.
yeah.
That's horrendous.
As
That's
yeah, as
annoying.
somebody who used to work at UPS years and years ago, I can guarantee you that those boxes get thrown around.
They do.
So yeah, yes, the last thing you want is somebody to open up a box and have broken product, for sure. Um, so we do have some more questions. Kim asks, do you incentivize your clients to post an unboxing video?
So I personally do. I think that's a great idea. And I think like, you know, a lot of my clients should consider that as far as like, having a social media initiative like campaign, whether that be like a hashtag or something like specific to their brand. I personally don't, because a lot of my clients are actually under like an NDA. So
Right.
I can't really can't really get that touch point with them. But I always do encourage, incorporating a like social aspect, because even if it is like an older generation and they put it on Facebook, like that's still worth something. Even if it's just a quick picture, it doesn't even have to be like a full unboxing video where you're, getting the ASMR noises in there and all that. But, I think that that's a great idea. And it's definitely something that I mention to my clients, whether they proceed with it or not. Like, it's completely up to them at that point.
Right. So you mentioned ASMR, and I want to kind of touch on that a little bit, because many people don't know what that is. I know it is because my daughter introduced me to it a couple of years ago, and I had no idea what she's talking about. She's like, oh, she loves certain sounds. Can you explain a little bit what ASMR means?
Okay. So ASMR is kind of just, it's like a auto sensory. Honestly, I'm going to completely, I'm not even going to go there, but it's like noises that are appealing and create like a, I don't know, like a sensory response to hearing the noise. It's like a satisfying noise.
Right.
So something like I'll just go ahead and do it right now, honestly. But like here's like an example of a gifting experience. So you're gonna hear, like, real quick, even me just like opening up this box will like create like an ASMR noise.
Right.
So, hold on. Ooh. So I packed this one real tight. Okay. So this one would fare very well in transit.
Yeah, it sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. So even just like opening the box.
Right.
Like the viewers at home can like hear that. But then it's like, you're like getting the note card,
And you mentioned the crinkle paper. That also
that's a big one, like,
yeah,
kind of just like messing around with stuff. It sounds really simple and kind of silly, honestly, and it is, but there is science to it. So
right.
Like it is creating another element of senses that you're engaging rather than just sight. It also becomes, you're hearing this satisfying noise.
Yeah, it's like a full experience. Like, to me, like you go to YouTube and you type in ASMR, you'll find probably millions of videos of that sort of experience. Like I've watched a few. My daughter's like, "Oh, check this out!" And it's like there's this one series of videos where this guy does nothing but with his car, he runs over certain objects and it makes these sound, like, a car running over, like a tire running over popcorn, or like over, pasta, and it creates this like, and there's a strange attraction to that. It's like, oh my God, that sounds so cool, and when you add that to the visual element of unboxing, you're creating even more appeal, more memory for the person when they're doing the unboxing. So we do have more questions, so they're coming in here. So Shayna asks, what is your favorite go-to theme for a gifting experience?
So obviously that really depends on the project. There's so many things to consider when creating a gifting experience. Number one is, of course, demographic. Like, who is the recipient? Are they an older demographic? If so, you're not going to want to give too much technology, if it streams kind of one way or another. Like, but if it's a large project, I call it like crowd pleasers, is, desk accessories, non-size specific apparel. So socks, hats, all that type of stuff. Like glasses, blue light blocking glasses is a huge one, but just trying to keep it really friendly is kind of the way I like to go.
Yeah, know your demographic. I think that's important. The younger generations will certainly embrace technology. Older generations, maybe not so much. So Sav, this has been a great conversation. We also have, I guess this is your sister, Chelsea Catherine. She said, "Hi, sis."
Hi.
Um,
Hey, Charles.
but we're almost out of time, and again, thank you so much for all this great information about unboxing. But before I let you go, I always ask one final fun question. Has nothing to do with the topic. So I've asked people this question before, but this one I'm going to ask you the same question. What's been your favorite show you've binged during the pandemic?
Oof. So that's a tricky one. But I am gonna say, and it's probably like the most top of mind right now because I did just binge the most recent season this past weekend. But Selling Sunset, there's something about those mansions in the hills that is just
Yeah,
really appealing. And I will say there are kind of some similar parallels in like the relationship management between our industry and kind of what they're doing. So
right.
I am kind of, drawn to that. But I mean, I watched the season in one sitting. This is
Oh
honest,
wow.
I guess.
No, hey, that's great. My wife watches a lot of those shows, and she binges them too. But yeah, I mean, there's so much great television out there. I don't think I've had a weekend where I wasn't binging something. So this has been enlightening, Sav. I'm so glad that you and I had a chance to sit down and talk about unboxing. If anybody wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Go ahead, give me a follow on Instagram. I'm really receptive to my DMs. It's gifted by Sav, so gifted X, like a retail brand. But gifted by Sav. And I have all my contact information there, so feel free to just reach out. I'm very responsive.
Again, this was a great episode, Sav, and I will make sure that you have everything after the fact. Again, this was unboxing with Sav Dimitru, and we'll see you next time on the social angle. Take care, Sav.